Hi, John. Wednesday, 6th of May 2015. Message to Sergeant Denis Culverwell, the Auckland Central Police Station. I want to come and see you today. I'll ring up for an appointment to get a response from you, and specifically from the email I sent you and the letter with the reply from the IPCA, the Independent Police Conduct Authority under the Governor-General, to the judges, Judge Carruthers, ex-judge, who's the chairman of the IPCA. In the letter I sent you, it states that I'll see a senior officer in the Auckland Central Police Station. So I'm hoping that you would have had enough time since the 12th of March 2015 right till now. I'm still waiting for a response from you, now that Gelden Hayes has left the file for you, and I'm hoping that we can talk man to man with your police department and what happened, the incident on 1/61 Cook Street. I want that resolved, because it's only the police who are standing in the road of a commercial lien contract that is between me and the landowners on 1/61 Cook Street, Auckland. Now, this has nothing to do with complaints about any person that rang from that block of land to the police who responded. I'm talking about Sergeant Tim Duthie. So he's responded to a complaint from the public when there's a contract in force through the High Court of Admiralty in London, and that's been ongoing in a fraud allegations against many people. So I'm just picking the land conveyancing lawyers. Denis, you would have had time to investigate them, because they're the ones who have corrupted that title, the British title, on that land block. I want to make it quite plain and clear to you that we have different jurisdictions of authority running here, and the jurisdiction that Tim Duthie, Sergeant Tim Duthie, was enforcing on me while I'm about my duty under the law of Admiralty and Maritime mortgages. Two different jurisdictions. The other jurisdiction of his authority was to address a complaint. The Independent Police Conduct Authority has left it to you because it's nothing to do with them. Why? It's because you're running a private business in the police force, and that's the difference between the government and the Governor-General, Crown, and me, the King's Crown, and them, the Queen's Crown. Two crowns are here head to head. No matter what anybody says, Denis, you'll have to speak for them as a senior officer. I've met you in person, and you have your profession. As a policeman, you've had plenty of time to consult with your Crown solicitors and the Solicitor General and the Attorney General has got nothing on this. I've written to Chris Phillison many times, and he's ignorant of his position of power in the courts for the Crown. Okay? So I've got an audience waiting for the police to respond in writing that I've asked for from Tim Duthie and his jurisdiction. I don't know. So you haven't told me nothing yet. None of you police have come up with anything to stack up against a private contract that has nothing to do with anybody. It's between me and those landowners and their lawyers and my lawyers and my private investigator, Graham Elliott. Okay? So I need to have a meeting with you so that you can tell me what you're going to do. What you're going to do. It's not worth going to court because you'll lose with the evidence that's sitting there against Sergeant Tim Duthie and Senior Sergeant Aaron Pascoe, 2 policemen who have stopped me from operating my business, the same as your business, corporate and private. So, it's a problem that the government has clearly stated in that letter that's your responsibility and liability and not theirs, because you stepped right in, not you, I'm saying Tim Duthie stepped right in without checking what he was going into and thinking it's going to just be a pushover. No, it's not a pushover, it's a legal matter of the brightest minds in law with information that will supersede what I've put in front of everybody in the world, including to you and to the police minister. I've seen them come and go, and I'm landed up on you. Out of all the police that I've been through in the last 6 years, I've landed up on you. So, I'm just saying, in all honesty, in front of everybody, Dennis, that I think it's time for you to sit down with me at the police station, because I've been walking up there and waiting around, waiting for you to come out and talk to me. But it seems to be silence. It's not going to work because the bills are running online with their pound note. That's real. You can't sneer at that, because that's what I can do with this flag. That's what I am doing with this flag. It's got its authority that's in writing, that's in the affidavits that haven't been challenged by anybody. So something is wrong there, and I want to make sure that the public watching me is waiting for answers, straight answers, that what I'm saying is a fraud. Nobody's saying anything. You should be saying, no, it's not John, or yes, it is John, and no one said anything yet. But I'm saying clearly that all you had to do for me was to let me go back on that land and carry on and seize it, and then bring Graham Elliott straight in. He's ready to go in, and he will prove it's the biggest fraud out. And also Yu Taek Choi, my QC, notary public lawyer, who's a conveyancing lawyer of Admiralty and maritime law, the best, with Hickson's lawyers and commercial contract lawyers, international and in the Pacific, Australia, that my lawyer is working with in his own company with theirs. So I've got a thing or two in the Pacific with those lawyers sitting on the side watching me do their job. Dennis, I'm doing their job as far as I can go because it's saving me a lot of money, because they're no good without the information I'm holding and letting everybody know. That's why the judge can't do anything, because there's nothing to find. It's only the person that I'm accusing is shutting his mouth. When you shut your mouth, Dennis, you lose. And so that's what I'm asking you for today on this video. I'll email it to you. You'll go online. Everything I do is online because it's contestable. In the High Court of Admiralty in London, they accept everything I've got online on Facebook, Twitter, Google and YouTube. Here in New Zealand, they won't do it. Why? Why don't they do it in the law? Now that's suspect. If you want to get your image of the police up, what I'm reading in the police complaints and conduct is not that flash. And with the amount of response I'm getting, asking questions, asking me, why are the police holding me up? And so I want to ask you that question. It's going to be good to hear what you're going to say on behalf of your police who are blocking my way to those land owners and talking for the landowners and not the lawyers. I'm waiting for those lawyers to come and battle up against me. Why are they going behind you? See? You've got nothing to do with a third party private commercial land levy contract. Dennis? Not your fault. It's your men. Your men in your department. It's not that squeaky clean. I want to make this point of law that it's binding on the Crown, okay? Because my lawyer, QC, signed the documents that's online, straight to the Queen in England and the courts. Okay, you can't reverse it, and neither can you reverse the bill at £1 trillion per police. No one can go near it. The bill stands on that land as long as it's in occupation, while there's a fraud on it, and that's the difference between me and everyone else, is that I've got a case running, a live court case that no other court can inquire in. Dennis, if you know the law as well as I do, I've been looking and learning all this time and having good information that'll stack up in any court. And the police have held me up going to Westminster in the elections tomorrow, the general elections of Westminster. I've got a part to play in there with this flag. It's going to save Britain, and whatever New Zealand's trying to do, one minute they want to get another flag, next minute they don't. They want to stay with the flag they got. Well, that one there has got no power in it. Dennis, it has no commercial contract, bank trading, commercial content in it. Only this flag. Only this flag. Dennis, it's the only flag in the world that the Vatican's using, the Queen's using, the United States of America is using, King William Commerce Acts of Westminster. And the sooner the British people wake up, that's because I know you're from there, even though you're in Singapore, it still relates to whose authority is higher than the other. Where do you get your authority from? That's what I'm saying to Tim Duffy. Where do you get your authority from? He says he swears to the Queen. So there you go. Problem number one. Problem number one is the Queen. She's in the EU Parliament, is in conflict with these lands here when she's operating her own private business, like you guys. You've got private and corporate business just across the road from me here in Mahuhu Crescent. NZ Invest Limited is your police companies. 14 of them, plus 14 administering those 14 police companies. I know all about it because I've researched the whole lot, Dennis. It's just another business. It's like me. I've got a business too. I have every legal right to inquire and investigate your businesses in the police. And that's what I've done. It's all stacked up. Stacked up, ready for the High Court of Admiralty in London. As soon as I get things cranked up, everyone is going to be subjected to this flag because of its authority. When the Queen is out, there's nothing there for the government here running their business. You're running your business. We're running ours in England and here. Okay? So that's all I want to do for now, Dennis, is give you a call this morning and try to get to see you today, this week. I wanted to get to England to be there for the elections, but it's the 7th, it's tomorrow. And because you held me up, your police departments held me up, not the land owners and their lawyers because they're shutting their mouth and saying nothing. It's the police who have tampered with my evidence. That's a serious matter. It's a very serious matter that even the government knows me back to front all these years. You might have been in Singapore, but I've been tracking right back from 2000, the year 2000, right till now, right through the Waterloo seabed, right through Helen Clark's government, right through Brasher's government, right through the whole thing. I've got all the records here. Every single thing. Tim, Dennis, the titles here in Auckland over the Ngāti Whātua titles. They cannot challenge the British UK titles, and you should respect that side of this flag from Britain, how they got here from King William's Devonport in England, where they all left to come here. Okay? That's what I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to that to find who's going to challenge. Not a soul, Dennis, not a soul. You're the only last bastion out of the whole lot of everyone living in this country. You've come from Singapore, where the commerce is, okay, in the Pacific. But this is where the hub of the New Zealand government, NZ Invest, and Intuition New Zealand Limited, and the Queen's business is here, and running our Queen Victoria Trust off the rails, okay? That's another matter. So I'm in charge of that lot when I go to England to audit the books, and you'll find I'm right on track. When the British military has a meeting with me there with their flag and Scotland Yard, they'll just piece themselves together. They're all in tatters now, ready for tomorrow's elections. So you should be so wise as to be older than me to say I'm right or I'm wrong. One of us is wrong. One of us, me or Tim Duthie, is wrong. He's in my road. He's in my road. And he's standing there covering up the fraud of the landowners, Simon Brent Roundtree and James Pierce Brown, and their lawyers, their conveyancing lawyers who have committed the crime. The lawyers have committed the crime. That's who I wanted you to investigate. It doesn't take a half a day to investigate that. Just go and see them, talk to them, and say, is he right? Is John right? Why didn't you write to him? Why didn't you talk to him? And why didn't you tell him to back off? Not the police business to do that. It's the lawyers. Okay? I'm getting pretty good at lawyer stuff because I've learned all about how they operate, how the banks operate. You can see it on my websites that I'm putting together, stringing together a bank. I'm stringing it because I don't trust no bank, but the bank I'm putting together with King William and the flag. Okay? It'll turn out that way. It will turn out that way, that the truth is in this flag. So all I'm asking you, Denis, is to spare me some of your time to resolve this matter, and I'm expecting you to assist me onto that land block to seize it and finish the job off as a qualified debt collector. Okay? I'm saying qualified because there's no one can stack up any information better than what I got, and the affidavits and any other native title and original British title with my family in it. Okay? Can't get around it. Can't get around the bill either. It's stacking up. It's gone right up. But I can't help that because it's on the record. Everything I do is out in the open. I have nothing hidden. It's all out there. And someone is accountable. I'm holding a lot of people accountable. Okay? Denis? And one more time. The Governor-General and his judges in the courts are standing aside while I'm talking. In that letter on the 2nd of April 2015, when that letter came, I never saw it. It's been on my emails, and I never saw it until just recent. And they were telling me then, go to the station. I've been going there, in and out of there. I'll keep going back to your station while everybody's watching me, going backwards and forwards there to get an answer in writing. I know the girl Sharon Parker, Shannon Parker, from the NZPCA, New Zealand Police Conduct Authority. She's not police, but she got all the police regalia all over her site, and she told me she's a debt collector. Well, she doesn't have as much information as me, because you can hear her talking on video. Oh, I don't know about maritime and Admiralty. You see, Admiralty is mortgages, liens on land. They go together, and if you don't know and you say the wrong thing, you're in trouble. That law is the most lethal law in the world. It's the law I'm accustomed to, and and truly proficient in that law. And New Zealand has no authority of a federal state to practice that law. It backfired on your policeman, Senior Sergeant, Police Investigator, Criminal Investigator, Aaron Pascoe. Backfired on Tuhoi. You know how much? 30 million or so cost since 2008 on that, and put their faces in the ground. I haven't finished with them. I haven't finished with him either. He's going to have to pay for that. Everything he owns, everything those people own that I've accused, they'll lose. Denis, unfortunately, that's how King William's law works, because we still have a legal right to use these acts at 1830 to 1837. Legally, use those acts of Westminster Parliament. It's going through its reformation at the moment. It's going through restructuring at the moment to throw out all the Queen's crooked people. And it's going to come back here. After I go there, it'll be hung Parliament. Sort them out. I'll be back here to clean this lot out. Okay, so you might as well tell me the truth. And that I'm right in doing what I'm doing with that land block. Because there's fraud on it, and we have a legal right as the chiefs in rent. That's the terminology of mortgages and commercial lands, and also court jargon, law, that the land, if there's any fraud that comes between there and the original landowners, then I have a legal right to seize it. And that's why I'm seizing it, because they can't do that on our land while we're still the owners. They haven't bought us out, okay? The government and the Crown has not bought us out. It's going through the Treaty of Waitangi process, but that's flawed as well. The whole thing is a fraud. The Treaty of Waitangi, 1840 Treaty of Waitangi, is a fraud. It never was set up to settle my people. They're settling Maoris their own self. They're talking to themselves. The Crown is talking to themselves, the Maori, iwi. Okay, Dennis, if you want to know a lot more, we can sit all day and talk about it over a cup of tea. All right? I'm just saying to my crew that down the East Coast at Rangitukia, they're waiting for me for Cook Street because it doesn't matter where the land is in the world, it's still the same as this one. Everywhere the Queen goes, she's fraudster. She is a fraudster. And I'm pinning her to the green pound note that you see online now. All right? As being collateral for people to buy the debt in the note. Okay? Those notes are ours and King William's rights to use. Okay? Our chiefs were using those notes in 1888 to 1934. And we still have a right to use them. So that's what we're doing here, legally. Dennis? So, please, I'm just appealing to you to be up and coming, up front, and upstanding, and have a meeting with me in your station to sort this out. That's all I want to do is arrest the property to defray the cost of the debts owing now and my financial interest that's been converted from a defaulted commercial private contract between me and those two landowners. Okay? None of anybody's business. That's how it works. That's how commercial law works. And you should know that without going into specifics about law. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I've got enough experience as self-employed for over 26 years, up to 30 years self-employed in business. So I'm going back into business the second time around. That's why it's taken me a long time to replan a big global push from this end and get the wrong people out of the way and put the right ones in place. Okay? It's going to change. No matter what, it's going to change. The fraud cannot last because it's ruining your image in the police force. It's ruining the government. That's how they operate, on a whim and a prayer and uncertainty with flags, and I don't know what the flag means. And if they get a new flag, Dennis, it has no continuity of monarchy to Britain, that flag that they're thinking of. This is fixed right to 1830 and 1835, 1837. It's fixed to the king. And no one can inquire into this private contract here, this flag. Okay? They cannot go into this flag because it's a contract, bank trading, commercial, king of the sea, king of commerce, private contract between King William and my native chiefs with the right surnames, the indigenous surnames, not the English surnames or the Baji Maori names. Okay? The Maori names, it's easy to find which ones are crooked. Very easy. Very easy. So those ones doing all the talking are going to find themselves in court. Dennis, I'm putting everyone into court. Once I get one court hearing done, this one here is a default. They'll have to go to a High Court of Admiralty in London if I take them to court. I'm not going to take them to court because it's just another added cost. They got no money to pay for it anyway because they're bankrupted. It'll leave the police bankrupted. It'll leave the real estate company Bailey's bankrupted, and the other real estate companies that sold their property, and the banks that did the conveyancing. I'm just telling you the truth, Dennis, about what I know, and that's why they're not saying anything. And it's not going to go away. If the bill's in place before the Queen abdicates, while she's a private CEO of a company, she cannot legally abdicate, and she hasn't got a coronation, a real one either. and she's in the EU Parliament and operating, and you're the only ones that are using her. Australia pulled away from her, but you're still going with her, even though she's a fraudster. I'm labelling her a fraudster with the pound notes, okay? And seize everything off her. After I seize this property, I'm going to seize everything back to the people who are going to support the king and his flag, a permanent fixture of sovereignty, monarchy, coronation, bank, and contract. Right? All those things that you need to be secure and have security of title. That's a title, Dennis. And the government here will never ever get the title. They'll never buy this out because they have to get it through Westminster. They have a partnership with us. The British government, military, and Scotland Yard is obligated to protect this flag and our trade. Okay? Just simple as that. And it'll work itself out. So, without further ado, I'll get on with my day, because at the moment it's 6:33. I've been up since 11:30 last night, going through the night and checking the news. I always do. 3 hours looking at everything happening in Westminster. I know exactly what's happening and what's the outcome. Okay? And the only time to do it is now at night, because I've got people I chat to on Skype there. All right? I got my eyes and ears open there, waiting for me to go there. And your police has gotten my rope illegally. You'll have to tell me, no, it wasn't illegal, and say, no, it's not a fraud. That's what I want to hear you say, so that I can write it up that way. And what you say to me is used in a court of law. Alright? You're doing a police job, because now the government has said you're the one for me to go to. Right? The longer it takes, the worse it looks from their point of view of how long does it take for you to think what I've just been saying in statements about that land block, about the pound notes, debt instruments that are going against them, all the people I name, and about the publicity that's going around the world about 1/61 Cook Street. It's global, and they're all poised to see what you're going to say to me. And I need all those documents in writing so that I've got something to go to court with. Right? The trespass notice, I need to see who wrote it and where is it, and I need in writing what Tim Duthie's complaint was, so we know what a complaint is against a enforceable court of law seizure warrant and arrest warrant. When there's affidavits running, I needed his affidavit to state his oath of office and his jurisdiction in writing. I need his jurisdiction. What gave him the jurisdiction to stop me, a debt collector, with all this information? Okay? And he's nothing to do with him on that land. There's nothing that he can say in court about his position of coming between a contract. A commercial lien contract. Defaulted. When it's defaulted, it means three affidavits that they failed to refute. And he failed to refute the affidavit I gave on him. Okay? He refused or failed to perform what he did to me. And so that's measurable in leviata against him and everybody who is implicated as accessories to the fraud, Douglas Ricard Bell, in the 2008, 2009 to 2011 time period of Jamie Peters selling to Doug Ricard Bell, the two fraudsters then. Okay? Jamie Peters went bankrupt, and I went in to save him. And then I look and I say, no, he's thick in it too. Between him and his lawyers, Mark Hornibrook and Andrew MacDonald, lawyers, who crooked the title. See, so there's that case. They've got debtor instruments on them as well. The 2.715800 billion is mounting up on them. As long as the property's in occupation, I'll just string that up every day that goes past is the same bill, multiplied. Okay, so they've run out of time and space, and the equity is gone out of that land. It's gone out of the land into our bank. Okay, that's all I wanted to say, because you'll have to undo the wrong of Tim Duthie. You'll have to step in and null it. And then I can go in there with Ailip and my lawyer and seize the whole place. It's them to seize it. It's me to give them the information and the instructions, okay? I'm the King's surrogate partner, King William of the Flag, to speak like that as a king. And I'll go to England as a king of England. Okay? There's nobody, it's commerce. The king of commerce, inheritor of his commerce, not his bloodline, his commerce. Okay? Okay, Dennis? You hear me out? And he's got his Hanover, King of Hanover, still there, untouched. The Queen could never touch it because it's our contract. And what's here is a contract. Okay? Okay? You got the story? Did you get all that? Because a lot of people get it. They get what I'm saying. You can't fool around with the law. Even the Admiralty and the Martial Admiralty and the Maritime Law in New Zealand can only go so far. It can go through the Supreme Court, but even they don't have authority over this with the pedal against the seal of the King William, his seal and his horse and his ship of Admiralty, where they all came from. Dennis, everyone in this country came from Britain through this flag. That's all I'm saying. And I was here when your lot came, and my ancestors were here. I'm here speaking for my ancestors, who were here before anybody else, before the Maoris came in 1945. That's when the Maoris came, Dennis, because that word was made up by your people from Britain. Your crown people made that name up, Maori Iwi, and then labelled everybody Maori Iwi. You're not going to label me a Maori. I'm a Hapu, Mawai, King William Hapu. Okay? That's the difference between me and the Maoris. Because the Maoris are your people in your crown contract with the Queen in Wellington, John Key's government, Lynn's Australia. Debt instruments now, debt instruments from the creditors in the British government, the new British government in UK after the 7th of May general elections. Okay, I'm not there. They know I'm not there, and I'm well excused for not being there with Jamie, my business partner, assistant. So we're going to wait for you to sort it out. Okay, that's all for now. I'll catch you later. It's now 6:41 a.m. and it's still dark, as you can see. No sun out yet. So to all the people watching around the world, watch out for the pound note. I haven't gone to it yet because the police has been holding me up, and I've been doing a lot of that work and standing up the website. I'm going to go and do it now and try and do a bit more to get the pound notes hooked up and ready for you to buy these debt notes for these police and for the landowners and the lawyers and everybody else who's going to be collateral in the pound notes. Okay, there's nothing they can do about it. No one can stop that because that's going through on record in Britain. Okay, thank you very much to my crew. Good luck with how we're going. We'll get there. Just be patient. That's all. That's all I ask. And our crew down in Rangitukia, Tamati Reid and them, be patient and wait. And also our other people in Gisborne, please wait. And also the people up north, the Ngāpuhi people, the good ones, not that other guy that gave me a hard time, Sam Murray. I'll give him a whipping in the ear with a video, especially for him. So it's raw, that's the way it comes out. I talk like that all the time when I'm confronted by someone cheeky. So I'll be give them a multitude of cheekiness back, okay, in response. What goes around comes around. And so he's the only one that's been annoying. The other one is Neil Watene down the East Coast. He's been plaguing my mobile phone and being a pest. And Jamie was just as well she was there, and I think she told him where to go. Right? Was annoyed with him being childish and stupid, and that's what happens when you got no control and a little bit jealous of what I'm doing. It's too good to be true. Okay. So, and also to Matt Taylor, good luck for your elections of the SOS Independent Party, our partners. And you're the leader of the Maui King William Party, as such, in our arrangements we made. And so we have our team there waiting when we get there, Jamie and I, to team up and put the pound notes. Will be well and truly on its way as a new currency from old currency that no one can stop. It's there. We have the rights to do that and to investigate the HM Treasury and the Queen Victoria Trust. That's our trust. We're the beneficiaries here, the native people. And also we'll audit that and as part of the investigations. So I'm here as a private investigator, private prosecutor, a judge, a surrogate king, and all of that wrapped up in one package, okay? And also a multitude of other political things and engineering on top of it to speak at any conference in the world, okay? I'm qualified to go in, stand and speak nicely, and all the negative people can stay on side and watch. All right? Thank you very much, people. And to Dennis, I'm looking forward to seeing you today. All right? Bye for now. Have a nice day. Switch off. And cup tea time. Stay calm. And that's my working day. Is 17 hours a day. 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's how it goes. The best time I work is 2 o'clock in the morning onwards. So, see ya.